friends, welcome back to Easy to Learn Tech and thank you for watching all my previous video. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And in today's video, we are going to talk about VRV and VRF. VRV and VRF is nothing but is the same system, same process and same technology. And there is no difference between VRV and VRF. Only the changes is that the names is changed because when Daikin invented VRV, that time Daikin patented his name. That's why no other brand can use the word VRV. That's why all other brands use the word VRF. And in VRV or VRF, if we use VRV and VRF within 1 year, easily it can save minimum 40 to 50% of electricity as compared to our split unit. As because the compressor what we use in VRV or VRF is digital scroll compressor, and maximum in VRV and VRF unit we use inverter scroll compressor or digital compressor, which makes the electricity consumption less and it saves more electricity. This is the block diagram of VRV or VRF. As you can see here, we can connect multiple compressor in one system of VRV and VRF, and we can connect different type of indoor in our VRV and VRF. Minimum 60 indoor units with different capacity and different model we can install in one VRV system or VRF system. And the maximum length of piping can be up to 150 meters. And if you will see in the normal air conditioning, the maximum copper piping can be done up to 15 meters. And you can see here, these are the different model and different capacity and different type of indoor which are connected to one single circuit of VRF. The main component which helps the VRV to separate all the indoors and outdoor is Y joint or ref net or distributor. You can see here, this is the Y joint, ref net or distributor. This can easily place between each of the indoor, and we can increase our indoor quantity, and just we can go on doing the piping, and again we can put the Y joints, then again we can increase our indoor. As you can see, the different type of indoors like cassette, wall mounted, ductable, ceiling concealed, float stand, fan coil, HU and ceiling type. These are the different types and different models of indoor which we can connect to a single VRV or VRF system. And if you will see, the placement of Y joint is also different. For near the outdoor unit, if we have to increase the outdoor unit, that time the position of our Y joint, ref net or distributor will be different as compared to the indoor. As you can see, the two mouths which is placing towards the outdoor, it means on the front side we can increase our outdoor quantity, and back side there should be only one single pipe which should come to our indoor ref nets. As you can see here, this is the indoor ref net, which is the first ref net of our indoor. From here it has divided into two piping, as you can see here. Then according to the indoor, then we have to place our Y joints. It means whenever we have to install one indoor unit, before that we have to install one Y joints. It means when we install one Y joints here, then our one piping can go to the indoor, and the next piping can continues for the next indoor unit, as you can see here. And if we will talk about the wiring and electricity, all these three compressor are three-phase compressor, because all these compressor we have to provide three-phase, and all these our indoor units are designed as a single phase, as a normal split or inverter in air conditioning unit. All this indoor we can use a single phase, and all these outdoor we have to provide three phase. And if we will talk about the communication cable between all this indoor and the outdoor unit, that time we can see like this. Our first master outdoor will be connected to our slave 1, and it will be connected to the slave 2. And from the master, then our one communication cable which will come to our first indoor. Then we can loop each of our indoor over here. Then all the commands of this indoor will go to the master, because all this indoor what we have installed inside will be controlled by only one outdoor, and one outdoor will control all this indoor according to the requirement of each of our indoor capacity and requirement of the cooling. That time this master unit will also control these two compressor in the same time. If we will talk about the working of a VRF system, when we start a VRF system after commissioning, that time first of all, when our all indoors are on, that time our master compressor will start first. When our master compressor will start, and it will control all this indoor unit according to the temperature. When the temperature, the requirement of temperature is high in Indo, that time our this master unit will give the commands to the slave one to adjust the temperature inside our room. And when it can't reach the goal, when our two compressors can't reach the goal of cooling this area, that time again the master will allow the third one to speed up and make it run. When all these three compressors are working, when our goal of reaching the temperature inside has been reached up to the certain temperature what we have set inside, and if our inside temperature is reached to the goal, that time slowly our master unit will give command to all other compressors to go slow down. After the block diagram of VRV and VRF, now let's see the basic refrigerant cycle of VRV and VRF. These are the main components which I have taken in this diagram, and I have skipped lot of components which are present in the outdoor unit to make the cycle in a simple way. Let's see all the components, what are the main components in our outdoor unit of a VRV and VRF. This is the inverter compressor. For one inverter compressor, we have one oil separator, and on the center we have the accumulator. And this is the fixed compressor, and for the fixed compressor we have one separate oil separator. And this is our condenser coil, and these are the 5 expansion valve, and these are the 5 evaporator coil, means indoor unit. First of all, we will start from accumulator. Whatever the refrigerant, liquid refrigerant which comes from the evaporator, it comes to the accumulator. Whatever liquid are present in the refrigerant, that gets settled in the accumulator on the bottom, and it gets vaporized, then it gets sucked by each of the compressor of inverter as well as fixed. From here, when our compressor push the refrigerant, then it go to the oil separator. In oil separator, the refrigerant, if it carries some of the oil of the compressor, it gets settled down in the bottom. When the refrigerants come to the oil separator, the vapor form goes to the condenser coil, and the liquid forms settle down in the oil separator. And this liquids, again it comes back to our compressor. It means the oil separator balance the lubricants of our compressor of inverter or a fix. And after oil separator, then it comes to the condenser coil. In the condenser coil, as you know, our refrigerant gets cooled. After condenser coil, then our refrigerant flows towards the evaporator coil. Before evaporator coil, we have a expansion valve which control the refrigerant of each evaporator coil in different ways. According to the requirement of cooling, our expansion valve adjusts the flow of refrigerant and it's provide to the indo. If example, I have taken the first evaporator. In the first evaporator coil, I have set 24 degrees Celsius, and in that room we have 26 degrees Celsius. It means it is higher than 2 degrees Celsius. At that time, our expansion valve will open maximize, and it will try to give the refrigerant as much as possible to the first evaporator coil. When it reaches the goal, when it's reached up to 23 degrees Celsius, at that time our expansion valve will be closed or minimized. And same for each evaporator coil. According to the requirement of cooling, our refrigerants flow to the evaporator coil. And this is the same process go on continuously in our VRV and VRF unit. As if the requirement of our indoor unit is high, at that time the frequency of our inverter compressor will increase. When we start a system, that time if you will see the load of our evaporator coil is much higher, that time our inverter compressor and fixed compressor both will work at same time. When the temperature reaches to its goal, that time our inverter compressor will give command to the fixed compressor that you should stop now because already we have reached the goal. When they reach the goal, only the inverter compressor, it continuously work and it's make the temperature stable in the all the indoors present inside our room. As we know, inverter compressor works according to the load of our evaporator coil. Due to this cycle of inverter compressor, we call as VRF, means variable refrigerant flow. Variable refrigerant flow, its flow all around all the evaporator by controlling the expansion valve, electronic expansion valve. Whatever the requirement is in our evaporator coil, that time our each expansion valve give different commands to our compressor. According to the demands of our evaporator coil, then it give command to the expansion valve that it need more refrigerant. At that time, our expansion valve gives commands to the compressor to work more frequently. This is the basic refrigerant cycle of a VRF system. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel.